Okay, so Kirk is clearly back in business, y'all. So we have Kirk over here getting it in. Greetings, y'all, and welcome to See Things Above TV. I'm your host, Luke Ciccone. So, man, we are just going to take a quick look at this video, y'all. I mean, Kirk is back, all right? Kirk is back, and now this time Kirk is in Jamaica, all right? He is in Jamaica getting down on stage. So let's take a quick look at this and we'll comment on it as we go along. Okay, so Kirk is clearly back in business, y'all. So we have Kirk over here getting it in, and it's like he's kind of warming up as the show goes along, man. He's just moving around, man, and it's funny because it seems like he's trying to contain himself. You know, it's like he's trying to contain himself at times, but then he can't contain himself, and he's like turns around, and then he's like, man, I just want to shake a little bit, but I don't want to shake too much. So it's like, man, it's a lot. It's a lot what's going on here. As far as his attire, man, like, I mean, we could say a lot about it, say, okay, maybe he's dressed improperly, but at the same time, he is in Jamaica. It's hot, it's a tropical place, you know, so I don't know, you know, I think, yes, in terms of what I would say is in terms of being modest, that is not modest. And of course, modesty can be sort of subjective to different cultures or different in different cultures. But I think that he should have the wisdom to say, look, man, I'm just a cover up just so I don't bring any undue attention to myself in what I'm doing over here. But clearly, man, he's having a good old time. And, you know, you can't fault somebody for having joy in the Lord, but, you know, it's Kirk, man. Kirk, I mean, he just has a history of having a little too much fun, it seems, man. Having a little too much fun, and then it turns kind of raunchy at times. So here we are, man. And, of course, we're not going to play the audio, man. So this is Stomp that is playing in the background. And then I think it switches to Revolution at some point. So yet again, we have another example of Kirk Franklin getting it in, man, getting it in a way that looks a little raunchy at times, man. Looks a little raunchy, looks a little bit improper, and raises the question as to, is this necessary? And is it even wise for him to do this stuff? Now, we understand that different cultures worship in different ways, that there are things that are just culturally acceptable as far as dancing and movements that may not even be offensive in that particular context. But as far as maybe someone from the West might see something that's being done in Africa or something that's being done in Jamaica or the Caribbean as improper, that could happen. That could definitely happen. However, I think just as a general principle, somebody being a minister of the gospel would consider himself to want to err on the side of caution and even say to himself, like, look, I may have freedom in Christ to do this. If you want to argue that, I may have freedom in Christ to do this, but I'm going to lay aside that freedom that I may have in order to present the gospel in a way that is untainted by my actions and my behavior in every setting that I am found. So more out of a reverence and a fear of the Lord, I think that one would refrain from doing this kind of dancing on stage while this is supposed to be a gospel show. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything he did was completely just out of line or anything like that. No, I don't think it goes that far. But you could it just seems like he's trying to hold himself back, and it's just a little bit of movement. Like, let me just shake a little bit. But he's trying to hold himself back a little bit. So there's like, I think a self-control thing going on, and just a general thought that, man, he's just going to let loose or try not to let loose. I don't know what it is, man. But at the end of the day, there's a better way, I think, to do it. And I think that this is just a moment where we can look and say, hey, sometimes the things we're not going to do for the sake of the gospel. You know what I'm saying? There are things we are not going to do for the sake of the gospel because we want to represent Christ the best way possible and not bring our own mess in a way that messes up the message, right? So, man, that's Uncle Kirk again on stage doing his thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I would love to hear from y'all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And if then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. All right. God bless y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.